Marathon of Hope, and Judy Fox joining us this morning from St. John's, Newfoundland. Judy, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about first off, why you guys are in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Okay, well, we're here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the day that Terry started his Marathon of Hope. And this morning, so far what we've done is there's a Terry Fox Research Institute. They have just launched their Atlantic node here. So very exciting time. There will be researchers that will be working with the other nodes across Canada on translational research.
And you said it's a virtual institute, is that right?
That's right. They work out of, I believe it's a university here that they'll be working out of. So they generally work out of the institute that they're currently working in.
Okay. And we also understand that the mile marker that is where Terry started, of course, and we're showing an unveiling of the mile marker right now. There's going to be some things built around it as well, but it's going to stay there. That's
right, yes. The Port Authority, I believe, will be doing a garden, proposing a garden to be put down at mile zero where Terry started.
Now, as we mentioned, it's been 30 years, obviously, since the Marathon of Hope began. What's it like for your family being back there 30 years later, where Terry started all of what has become an amazing research amount of money raised and the run and the whole bit for cancer research?
There's been close to $500 million raised in Terry's name since he did his Marathon of Hope. And, you know, I think probably the most thing that we've been saying is how we cannot believe that it's 30 years. So much of the time it feels like it was just yesterday that Terry, started out here from St. John's. And just an incredible pride is what I can tell you for how I feel as a sister.
Mm-hmm.
That his legacy is still going on and on in 34 countries around the world as well.
Judy, is it tough on your mom and dad when these kind of anniversaries are coming up? I mean, I know they want to continue the legacy for Terry, but does it get tough on your parents? I mean, traveling right across the country?
I think it does. There is always the emotion that comes out because of it, but at the same time, it gives us a time to celebrate what Terry did and to thank people for, it was really the rest of Canada that shared Terry's story throughout the world and has kept it alive. So as tough and emotional as it can be, it's also incredibly proud. Like, we're just privileged to be able to do what we do.
Now, as we mentioned, it started 30 years ago in St. John's, Newfoundland, and the media never really picked up on this. The hometown media, of course, did, but the national media never picked up until a little later in the run. What are the people of Newfoundland saying to you, since you've been there, just about the impact that Terry has had on their community?
Well, it's one of the nice things about being here is hearing the stories and people remembering when Terry started, and the Atlantic provinces, they were so good to Terry and Doug. They brought them into their homes and fed them and, gave them hot meals. And I know that they're proud, that St. John's is proud that Terry did start here.
And the weather much different today than when Terry started?
Very different. Actually, to celebrate today, my brother and I got up early and ran. And thought of Terry while we ran, and that was sort of our own celebration of commemorating his start.
Right.
And it was warm compared to when it's sunny and windy here.
Right.
But when Terry started, it was bitterly cold and high winds and brutal, really.
And one last question, Judy. Are you shocked sometimes when you think that the amount of money that's been raised for cancer research, and not only that, but the runs as well, and how they're not only in Canada, not only in the U.S., but right around the world? And even though Terry, his run was in Eastern Canada, his legacy is spread right across the world.
Yeah. Am I surprised?
Yeah.
Well, I am very shocked. And as a matter of fact, I work for the foundation. I support the runs outside Canada, and I've had the honor and privilege of going to the UAE, Qatar, India in February, and then my parents and I were just in Cuba last month to celebrate and participate in their run on March 20th. And it's absolutely shocking. There's over 2 million people in Cuba did the Terry Fox run, and they have over 5,000 locations. And it's just mind-boggling to know that Terry's in the hearts of people all over the world. And, you know, and it's because of the Canadian people that have shared his story. So I'm surprised in some ways, but not so much in others, because it's what Terry asked us to do is to continue what he started.
All right, Judy Fox-Alder, thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate it, and I know there's lots more events planned for you guys later in the day. So thanks for taking some time with us.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, 7:27. We'll take a quick break. Come back in just a couple of minutes.